right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Friday, the 18th of October, and a little bit sad today. You know, we should be taking down all these old vintage Barolos, but, well, unfortunately, we had to move the event until next Saturday night, or fortunately, we're moving the event. We're not canceling it. We are going to drink these wines, and next Saturday night's the only night that I have to do it, and hey, we've got the vintage Gaja tasting back to 1964, the night before. So what an incredible weekend we have planned for you, our wine drinking people, next week. And this is an annual event that we do here right around the end of October, because that's when the white truffles come in. And nothing is more decadent than having a white truffle dinner with the wines of Angelo Gaja. This is the most famous producer of the Piedmont. His history goes back 4 generations here. Family's originally from Spain. The 1964 vintage, the old dog on the table. This is the year that Angelo Gaja first started making the wine. This is the vintage he told his father, Giovanni, look, we're not going to be making wine from vineyards that we don't own anymore. So as of 1964, all the fruit was coming from Angelo Gaja's family's vineyards. And he started to tinker around with the wine after that. Famous for being a tinkerer and, well, introducing new barriques to the Nebbiolo variety. Some people would say this is heresy, but Gaja's got all these little techniques. He steams the oak barrels. He actually dries his own wood for the oak barrels. He lets the oak sit outside of his winery. He watches it with his watchful eye, make sure that it sits there for 4 years, not 3 years, so it does not have the aggressiveness that an oak barrel has that's not aged long enough, the oak season they call it. And then he steams the inside of the barrel to get some of that new wood taste out of there, because Nebbiolo, well, not great with a lot of new oak. I like the little bit of spice that it gives to his wines, and we have got a lot of great stuff on the table. Gaja, a great storyteller. Unfortunately, he will not be here. You know, we can't arrange to have Gaja here every year for a Gaja tasting, or somebody from Gaja, and we only have 15 seats for this. This is a sit-down event, and like I said, we're going to be serving white and black truffles with each course, and we're going to be starting out with a little Chardonnay. Angelo Gaja makes the greatest Chardonnay in the Piedmont. The most expensive Chardonnay also. It tastes like a white Burgundy, like a Grand Cru Montrachet, the 07 vintage, just starting to drink nicely. And then the Damaggi. Damaggi means, what a shame, or what a pity. This is what Angelo's father said when he looked out onto his vineyard that was recently replanted to Cabernet Sauvignon, which is also heresy to some people in the Piedmont. You know, Angelo points out that before phylloxera hit, the last part of the 19th century, they had Cabernet Sauvignon and Chardonnay planted in the Piedmont. And, well, Cabernet is very popular around the world, and this Damaggi, absolutely fabulous. We're going all the way back to the 87 vintage, and then we'll start with the Barbarescos, the 64, the 90 vintage. 90 vintage wines, back-to-back 90, an outstanding vintage in the Piedmont. Antonio Galloni just re-rated these wines, both of them 95 points. The Barolo Spears, which Spears means nostalgia, because they stopped making Barolo in 64 because they didn't own any vineyards in Barolo, and it wasn't until 1988 that Angelo was able to contract a deal to buy a vineyard there. Thus, he named it Spears for nostalgia. And then we have the 3 single vineyard Barbarescos. These wines, they only make 500 to 700 cases of these wines, maybe in a big vintage, 900 cases, but a very small production. The new releases on these wines are $500 a bottle. Well, $400 to $500. There's a big spread on anything collectible like this on the internet today, but we've got older releases. The 99's on sale for $350. An incredible value when you look at what the new releases are selling from this winery and how long you have to keep these wines until they mature. We're going to show 3 99 single vineyards. Well, I would call them Barbarescos, but in 1996, Angelo Gaja said, I'm not going to use the DOCG Barolo or Barbaresco on my wines anymore, pretty much admitting what people have been accusing him of, which is adding Barbera to the mix, which this is not allowed. Barbaresco and Barolo have to be, by law, 100% the Nebbiolo varietal. And Angelo said, you know, I'd like to put a little Barbera in my Nebbiolo, just 6% or more. And thus, in 1996, he took off the DOCG name and said, I am just using the single vineyard name for these wines. And they didn't miss a beat. Not many people could do this because DOCG carries a lot of weight with people. Barolo and Barbaresco, very important village names. But Angelo Gaja, well, he's been around the world promoting his wines, a great promoter, and able to do, well, the unthinkable for most people in this part of the world. So an incredible lineup. Like I said, check it out. We got a beautiful menu here also. And we got an offering of all these old vintage Gaja wines here. We probably have 25 different listings for Gaja here in the store available. All right, check it out. I'm your host, Angelo Lampasone, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.